In August 2025, Highmark Stadium will celebrate 52 years in business, preparing to host its 53rd season of Bills football. That's more than 400 games played here, millions of fans who have passed through the gates. That means there are so many stories that we just simply will not have time to tell in this series. But before we begin this final episode, I wanted to share with you just a few messages that fans have shared with us over the last several weeks. JD says, I have so many great memories from 1974 until today. Time with my dad, brothers, friends, girlfriend, and now wife of 28 years. From Paul, my grandfather had season tickets since opening day through the Super Bowl run. I think about him a ton during this current era and how much he'd love it. John writes, I've been a Bills fan since I'm 8 years old. I'm almost 50. I've never been to a Bills home game, but this season, my son and I will be at the Week 4 game against New Orleans. I can't wait to share the experience with my son. And a note from a fan named Pat. The best part about all of this was spending time with my dad. My favorite time with him was going to the stadium. My dad held my hand in line, walking into the biggest stadium I know. Truth is, I have loved growing up with my family in Highmark Stadium. The walls could tell my entire life. And just like Pat, my favorite memories inside the stadium also have to do with my dad. This is a picture from the 2019 season. It was actually my first home game as sports director here at Channel 7. I was lucky enough to bring my dad and my mom down onto the field before the game. My dad had season tickets from 85 to 97, was a diehard Bills fan. It was his first time on the field. I remember watching the joy on his face as he watched down. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, we lost my dad. So spending time in this stadium and putting together this series has really let me think about him a lot, and that's something I'll always cherish.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Van Miller in Orchard Park, New York, and the road to the Super Bowl goes through Rich Stadium.
Holy mackerel, they did it again!
Fasten your seatbelts. It's playoff time.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, Buffalo!
Where else would you rather be?
Allen back to throw, gonna run it, keep it himself to the 40, jumps over a man, touchdown!
It is bedlam. It is pandemonium. It is pandemonium. It is fantastic.
So this is the end. Literally. When the current Highmark Stadium is ready to close its doors, this is going to be what's waiting for the Buffalo Bills and their fan base. Over the past few years, it's been easy for Western New Yorkers to see what's on the horizon, considering this is going up right across the street. It's a $2 billion construction project that will hold 60,000 seats. Straight from the new stadium's website, we're talking state-of-the-art video and scoreboards, sound systems, upgraded locker room and broadcast spaces, and a new team store. So I spoke with the developers for this once-in-a-generation project about something so modern, still feeling so Buffalo.
Details matter, and so this stadium is going to have a lot of that for our fans. It's not just another venue built for Buffalo, right? We said that a lot, built for football. And I think that Terry said to us early on is like, I wanted you to take me anywhere. When I open my eyes, I better know I'm in Buffalo. We challenge ourselves and our team and the design team all the time to say, there might be an idea that makes sense for another stadium or another fan base, but it doesn't make sense here, right? So we challenge ourselves all the time to say, how would we want to experience this stadium? And rely on our experiences to make sure that that's what our fans ultimately are looking for.
So not only is this a stadium built for Buffalo, it's also built by Buffalo and two Western New York natives who are taking this job very seriously. You are from Niagara Falls? Would you say Niagara Falls?
Originally from Niagara Falls, yep.
And where are you originally from?
Born in Depew, Cheektowaga, then moved into the city when I was about 14.
At the end of all of this, we'll look back and say that we were part of the team that delivered the stadium that will be making memories for this community and its organization for the next 30 years.
I feel lucky. We take it seriously, so it's every day you get here and you're just pinch yourself. A lot of responsibility, a lot of eyes on this project. I think every day about what can I do to make this building the best stadium ever built in football.
And while this stadium was made with all of us in mind, Buffalo Bills left tackle Deion Dawkins says it'll take a little bit of time for this to truly feel like home.
We're going to close the door on a lot of history in that stadium. And, it'll never be forgotten. But that energy of that stadium, that will close. And then the new stadium, it won't have any energy until we win. And once we win into that stadium, then that energy will be formed.
Change can sometimes be really scary, especially for an area that clings so deeply to the past. Could something so nice wash away the legend of what Bills Mafia has ultimately become?
You see all these other stadiums and like what ours is gonna be, where it's like a mini mall in there and all these different things, and to us it's just football. It's just the team, community, like the families going, the camaraderie, and then like what's on the field and the team we love, and that's really all it is. And I do love that part of it, that it's like it doesn't matter about the bells and whistles, it's just this is us.
But it's important to remember, at one point in time, that 50-year-old stadium across the street was modern, was ahead of its time, was something brand new for Buffalo.
It was really modern.
It was so open, and the concourses were nice, and the lights, and it was modern at that time.
I was at the rock pile, and then going over to the new stadium, obviously, oh my God, you walk in that place the first night, Matt, 80,000 people. I mean, the rock pile held 46, I think, and rarely was it full in those early 70s when they were leaving that dump. So the new stadium was just an incredible thing.
They said, you're a lucky guy because we're opening the most beautiful stadium in the nation. And it was, rich stadium.
Right now, this new stadium is on track to open for the 2026 Bills season. And even though it's still more than a year away, some people are already looking ahead to what that will be like. Almost like the first day of school. We'll be figuring out together where to go, where to sit, and what it's going to sound like.
I think about, while moving to the other stadium, where are those people going to be? Because I'm used to seeing all those people in certain spots, like whether it's Elvis or whomever.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it sounds in there. Like for the home opener of the first game. And
when you look across the street at that new facility, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that one. I can't wait to hear the fans in that one, because they're loud in here. They're going to be deafening over there. I mean, they're just going to be amazing over there.
Like I said, it's going to take a little getting used to. Hopefully I can find some of those people again where they're sitting, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's just you get excited hearing about some of the new technology and some of the different, we're going to have a grass field, and so it's kind of neat. Just that there's going to be something different. So it's almost like, okay, we're going to turn the page, but we're going to turn the page because we're going to get better.
And head coach Sean McDermott is hopeful some of the magic moves over with us.
The emotional ties that this fan base has to this team and that stadium. Listen, I'm excited about the new stadium. Sure. I really am, and it's been earned, right? But a piece of me, I hope we can take the tradition, right, from this stadium into that stadium, and they ask us questions about, hey, how do you want this design? What are your thoughts on that? And my biggest goal, my biggest ask was simply that we can make it as home field feeling as we can, in a good feel, bringing this with us, and how this was built. And how successful this organization has been, that we can take that over. Because sometimes when you build something new, it's like you get it too nice, and it's like you lose the past. We can't afford to lose the past.
To close out this episode and the entire series, we're back here, inside the current Highmark Stadium. Yeah, we'll all have the memories to take with us. But there's a lot of history to pack into the metaphorical moving boxes. That's why it's so tough to find the right words to explain what leaving is going to mean. If only there was a word stronger than thank you, more meaningful than goodbye. I asked just about everyone we interviewed to describe what they think this final season is going to be like, moving on and moving forward.
I think the last game at Highmark, a lot of people will be crying. Me for sure. Because everybody's going to be thinking about all those games they went to and all the people they met and family and friends, some that aren't with us anymore, you know, and it's going to be very emotional. It's going to be a very emotional time. People aren't going to want to leave. I know I won't. I won't want to walk out.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be wild. I think the fans are going to be even crazier than they've ever been because they know it's the last year. So they want to build their memories here.
It's a part of me. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's just like a great feeling when you walk out into this stadium and, you know, I don't know, this stadium still has some of the best seating in the National Football League. Like, you could basically say there's not a bad seat in this stadium.
No matter what happens inside that stadium, everybody experiences it together because of the design of the stadium and how close they are to the action. And because of how successful this team is, that's why we have so many emotional moments where everybody's together and they're hugging each other and high-fiving and throwing the snow up in the air as confetti. Yeah, you get a lot of those kinds of things in other stadiums, but I don't think you get it as a 70,000 people in one stadium doing it together. And I think that's what makes this stadium so special compared to so many more.
You walk out and it's just that you can just feel the energy. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're, I don't think it matters if you're 2-10 or if you're 10-2. When you walk out of that tunnel, just to feel the energy from the people in the crowd, it's amazing.
All these moments are going to last forever. We're going to remember this, not so much even the building itself, but just the memories of what took place in the building and what we shared together as a fan base, as a community. Staff and Bills Mafia hugging each other after games. That's all going to come to fruition this last season. But we're going to make all those new memories in the new stadium. And boy, what a team we have to transfer from the old stadium to the new stadium.
I think it's going to be very emotional for a lot of people. There's people there, Matt, that probably have had season tickets for 53 years. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a few. You don't leave a place with that much history that has been such a big part of your life for so long without being emotional about it. I think a lot of people, especially our age, well, my age, I'm way older than you, are going to look back and say, yeah, I'm going to miss that place. I had a lot of good times there.
I have been there. I can't count the exact number of games. I've covered over 500 Bills games. I'm going to say I've been there for 300 something games. It'll feel weird, but I think at that point, I think is really when emotionally it gets to you, because it's not about the excitement of the new place. It's about the old place being totally gone.
This place is like literally the only football stadium I will have ever gone to with my dad. And that doesn't fall short on me. It's also going to be the first football stadium that my son will ever go to this year, because he's probably going to go to a practice or two this summer. And that also doesn't fall short on me. So I'll always tell my son about, I'll always tell my wife about, I'll always tell anyone that comes into contact, like, what was it like in that stadium? And I'll be able to have a perfect answer for that.
To me, it's still one of the better stadiums in the dadgum NFL. It is depressing to think that they're going to tear that stadium down, and that the final game will be this year there. And for all the memories and all the fans, and it's going to be a loss, I think.
I'm forever thankful for the 9 years that I've played in this stadium consistently. 9 years, right? This stadium has way more years than my 9, but these 9 years that I've had have been immaculate. They've been great, and it's been iconic, honestly. We've made another MVP quarterback out of this stadium. We've made a great organization out of this stadium, you know, and we've made great men and created great character of people out of the stadium.
I've learned a lot about myself in that stadium. Fighting through some injuries, dealing with some mental setbacks, the challenges I had to go through in that stadium kind of made me, not only as a football player, but as a man, a better person. So I'll always be thankful for that stadium.
You will have memories forever with it, but tears, nah.
You're tough.
No, it's not tough. It's just, you know what? It's, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because I really don't know how I'm going to feel when we'd play the last game in that stadium. But it won't put tears in my eyes. It'll put a big smile on my face knowing that I made my life at that stadium. It's the only team I ever played for with the Buffalo Bills. And I will go down in my heart knowing that I played all my games right there at Rich Stadium.
I used to get such a rush from going up, seeing that stadium, getting the One Bills drive. Yeah, I had a rush like no other when I got there. Yeah, so I always cherish that because I've known there's very few people that get to do that.
The picture in my mind of the guy hanging on the goalpost, and like that's imprinted on my mind. And of course, Van Miller's voice is imprinted on my mind with the Fandemonium call. That'll be forever etched on my mind.
I really don't know how I'm going to feel going in there. And I don't know how I'll feel walking into the new stadium, but that's just like the guys when they left War Memorial and they came out to Orchard Park. They didn't know what they were going to expect or what was expected. They knew that they were going to have their fans there. They knew that they were going to have all of Buffalo there.
I remember being at the top of the stadium when a renovation went on. I was up at the top seat, and you could see the skyline of Buffalo, and it was a great seat. But it was time for a new moving on, and Ralph would be thrilled with the direction, and thrilled with Terry and Kim Pagula, their leadership, and I will be cheering for the Bills forever. And I know Ralph's up there cheering. He treated people so well, and I was lucky, very lucky to be a Buffalo Bill.
Well, here's what it means to me. I think just this is, I mean, that's 9 years. It'll be 9 years this year, right, of my head coaching tenure here. So when my kids, who are basically raised in Buffalo, my kids have their kids, and maybe I'm no longer around, who knows what will have happened to this stadium. Probably won't be here anymore. Yeah. But maybe my kids can come through and show their kids, my grandkids, hey, this is where your grandfather coached, and he won some games. He won a couple of games too along the way, right? Yeah. So I think that's the cool part about it. And I mean, again, if the walls could talk, right? Just all the people in this community who have a story, right, about their time spent here watching the red, white, and blue play, right? It's emotional. It really is.
This stadium is ours, and how lucky we have been to call it that. No one's in a rush to get this final season over with, but that doesn't mean we haven't thought about how this could all end. What the final game inside this stadium could be. What the first game looks like inside the new one.
It's been an awesome stadium. I just know the fans are ready for something new, but hopefully we can end the season on a bang.
What I think about is how the last game ends inside the stadium with the Buffalo Bills on the field.
I hope it's an AFC Championship game. That would be the ideal way to send that place out.
The storybook ending is they're having an AFC Championship podium and interviews. The last game ever inside the stadium. That's the way this stadium needs to go out.
Maybe if we're all lucky, we're going to bring that championship memory to the new stadium in year one.
And I know we're going to win a Super Bowl. I just know it. I feel it in my heart.
While we don't know how this story ends, we do know where it's going.
The kick is
So thank you so much for watching Leading the Charge, 52 years of Fandemonium. It has been a joy to put this together, but a special thank you to Kevin, Garrett, and Julia for all of their hard work behind the scenes. We couldn't have done this without them. We look forward to continuing to tell the story of Buffalo Bills football, this time just across the street.